everybody are expecting, okay, that's a new restaurant, I want shopsky salat, I want kiftet and fried potatoes. You're like, sorry, we don't serve that. And you're like, okay, bye. We had good like a year like that people are just going away because we don't serve the food that they're used to eat.
Well, I'm Melissa. I'm from Peru. Japanese family name from my mother's side. I met Tosho in California when we were working together. We're both chefs and restaurant owners at this point. And we express our creativity through our restaurants, through our food, our cocktails, our wines, our concepts, our events.
We create.
We try to put a lot of ourselves in everything we do. Either it's a main dish, a dessert, a signature cocktail, anything in between.
And I'm Todor, I'm from Plovdiv originally. As she said, we met in California, working in the same restaurant there. Yes, we create mainly experiences. That's what we like to think about, that the food is not only to get food to eat, it's to have an experience. That's why you go to a restaurant. We're both studying culinary art, like a bachelor in hospitality. So that was part of the program, like you need to go different countries, work there, experience the different styles of cuisines, the different cuisines in general. Like before that I was in Doha in Qatar, I was in the Channel Islands, like, and she as well traveled half Europe. In California it was part of the education for me.
For me actually it was the end of my second degree in restaurant management, and I decided that since I had already been big part of Europe, I wanted to know more about the States, and one of my secondary passions, for saying like that, is wines. And Napa Valley was one of the cities that could portray a lot and teach me a lot about wine culture. So initially I wanted an administrative work, thinking I wasn't gonna dedicate my life into creative work, but somehow it just keeps pulling you into, when you love creating something, it just keeps pulling you in, and that's why I decided to go to Napa Valley, where we met with Todor. And after a few months of being together, it's that we decided to come here to give it a try.
So we met. She was not paying attention to me at all. So I don't know how it happened that she started paying attention to me. I dropped my head, that's how it started. And everything actually happened very fast. I hope she liked me then.
You're still not sure?
Yeah, I was about to... My internship, we were both in internships there. My internship finished, I stayed over a year, and I needed to go. I stayed for her a few more months extra in the States working, and after that we decided, okay, so let's just move away from California, or we can stay in California, or we can just go work everywhere, because with our profession you can work everywhere.
Everybody eats in this world.
And there is always shortage of chefs. And in the end, we decided it's going to be easier for both of us to settle either in Peru or in Bulgaria. So in Peru, the gastronomy is very advanced. It's not like in Bulgaria. Bulgaria is just starting to get better and better. People get more engaged with food lately. And okay, let's go to Plovdiv, Bulgaria. So we have the base, we have home here. So then in Kapana in the beginning it was very hard. Everything, as you know, it's all buildings, broken. It took us a lot of, do we want to do that? But in the end it was for a good. The first time we opened the restaurant, everybody were expecting, okay, that's a new restaurant, I want shopsky salat, I want kiftet and fried potatoes. You're like, sorry, we don't serve that. And you're like, okay, bye. We had good like a year like that people are just going away because we don't serve the food that they're used to eat. That was the hardest part actually, that to keep with not selling those things. After that, our market kind of formed, that people actually enjoyed to taste something different, something new. After that, we start working towards let's make our street, because when we opened there, our street was not very popular. There was not a lot of people, and how we can make it more popular. And we started actually helping some other businesses towards us to grow, to make something different. So if they start working good with us, that's going to bring more people to the whole street. There is never enough variety, but in order to create, you need to create with whatever you have. So your creations, you can take those, like you say, a potato, and make it something different. You know why chef has so many curls on his hat? That's how many different techniques he can use to cook one egg. It's the same for every product. Like, you need to be creative with whatever you have.
And in order to have variety of products, there has to be a demand for the product, because we discussed with a few producers, and their main issue was that every time they produce something out of their usual Bulgarian market, the restaurants were not buying it, because the restaurants themselves have this demand of traditional dishes. It was a very big issue, for example, when we opened our first restaurant, that we were not offering shopska salad, which is kind of a staple in a lot of Bulgarian restaurants, or at least some variation of it.
Or fried potatoes.
Or kufteta. We refused ourselves for 3 years to sell kufteta on Tams, not because we couldn't make it, but because we wanted to. You can try that in any other restaurant. Come to us if you want to try something different, something new.
We can still use those products, but it's going to be different.
And that's kind of what we're working towards now. That's why we're working so close with this farm and showcasing, because it's equal parts educating the customer to try something different. Sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose, but it's at least an experience. And educate the restaurants that it is possible, there is a demand, and you can buy these products. You just need to process them respectfully and respect the seasons, and not just fry them or sear them, work with them to make something interesting for the customer to buy. Well, we want to keep growing with our last product, Valere, that opened this year. We opened enough the basic services, breakfast, dinner, a la carte, room service, and our next step will be the tasting menu and thematic nights, because we'll never get bored. I mean, there's always some new concept to create there, and or new event. So that's where we're focusing all our experimental work right now. I don't think we'll ever stop.
Yeah, I mean, with 3 restaurants now, we want to keep not upgrading them, but make them better. That's it. You need constantly to change the menus, constantly to improve something, make partnership with farms, with farmers. So that's what we are focusing now on, trying to close the circle with the producers.
Actually, we're just working with an experimental farm for seeds now, where they found us through Valere, and they enjoy what we can do with raw products, and what they do is they experiment with seeds to sell to other farms and eventually restaurants to buy these products. So it's very enriching to have a Bulgarian company that wants to experiment on the products, because what we do is transform the raw product. If the raw product is not interesting or tasty, well grown, respecting the soil, it's not going to be the best dish neither. So we're now working together towards growing things that, for example, grow on Bulgarian soil that just people are not familiarized with, so we can present it in our restaurants, close a bit the cycle of importing products when it's not necessary. Bulgaria is such a rich country, seasonal. There's people that wants to improve this than just to present, for example, one type of pumpkin. We're doing now an event where they're showcasing like 10 different types of pumpkins that can grow here in Bulgaria, and we're going to make them a presentation of everything that we can think of, presenting these different amounts of pumpkins. And that keeps it fun because it allows us to, for them to grow, us to grow, close a circle.
I guess our focus is going more to starting from the source. We want to make our surroundings grow better stuff, locally produced, locally sourced, and use them, and even present them to the other restaurants, and they start using it.
Creativity can come from anything. It can be from a lighting, from a place, from something you lived, from a cultural experience.
We have a dessert as well called Peru. It's like the mountains in Peru, with all the microclimates and everything that she wanted to show us.
Is it in Tams as well?
No, it's in
Like
Valere.
Valere.
Okay.
It's actually 3 Peruvian desserts into one, and the plating of it, it's inspired on the Andes, on the whole mountains and flowers and
Heights.
that vision and heights. So it's not necessarily a food, it can be somewhere where you're from, somewhere where you've been, somewhere that you want to be. A memory of a taste, exactly. Anything can be an inspiration if you are passionate about it. Otherwise, you're not constantly thinking about it. The only way we can create it is because we enjoy what we're doing. So when we see something inspiring, it immediately draws us into food because that's how we express it.
How that tastes.
Yeah. But creative work, you have, after you're passionate, you will find inspiration on pretty much anything you see.